Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my February reset, and this month I decided to only show my reading journal setup for the month. Let me know what else you'd like to see in these reset videos. Otherwise I will just continue showing you my reset spreads in my reading journal and like setting up for the new month. So we're going to start out with making my books read page for January. These are the 12 books that I read in January. I read Wayward, I read Gentlest of Wild Things, I read Hey Kiddo, which was my English novel, I read The Final Empire, I believe next I read A Fate Inked in Blood, and then I read Twelfth Night, then I read The 13th Child, and then I reread Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I read my first arc of the year, When We Were Rats. I keep getting the title messed up for that. We Could Be Rats. I keep getting the title mixed up for that one. I don't know why. Then I read Once Upon a Broken Heart, and lastly, I finished Zodiac Rising. It was a kind of mixed bag month. There were a few lower rated books and also some higher rated ones. I rated Wayward a 4.25. I rated Gentlest of Wild Things a 4. Hey Kiddo I didn't rate since it's a memoir. I don't want to just rate someone's life. Final Empire I rated 5 stars. A Fate Inked in Blood I rated 2.25 stars. 12th Night was a 3.5. 13th Child was a 3. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom stayed their original ratings of 5 stars. We Could Be Rats was a 4.5, Once Upon a Broken Heart was a 2.75, and then Zodiac Rising was a 3. So, kind of a spread this month. As you can see, my ratings have dropped dramatically in what they used to be, but I wanted to use my rating system this year to be more authentic, and I think that is working out well. But, as you could see, I also made a little stats page. I just pulled those from Storygraph and some from Goodreads, but I'm pretty sure mostly from Storygraph. And they're just like general data like pacing, page count, stuff like that. But now we are moving on to the book pages. So this year I wanted to really like expand my reading journal and make spreads for each book that I rate very highly or want to talk about. This month I decided to do my highest rated reads, so we're doing spreads for The Final Empire and We Could Be Rats on this page. They each get 1-page spreads because I didn't really feel like I had too much to talk about with either of them, but I still wanted to make them their own spreads since I really enjoyed both of them. Sometimes I might decide that I want to make a rant review for one of my books and that I rated really low, but this month I decided not to do that with Fate Inked in Blood, because I think I said everything that I needed to say in my Goodreads review. I don't have a Goodreads account for Bujo with Beans, but I have a personal one that I post reviews on. So I definitely didn't really need to write out my thoughts again in my journal. And I'm still doing my old review style as well. I'm just making a second sort of review at the end of the month for each book that I rated. I'm probably going to do 4.5 or above unless I kind of just have some lower rated ones that month. Then I'll just pick which ones I want to make spreads for. And honestly, if there's none one month, then that's fine. But yeah, so I just picked out some papers that went with the book, and I printed off a couple of aesthetic pictures that I felt matched the vibes of the book. And I did print out character art for Mistborn of Eland and Vin. And I rated that one 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to continue on in the series because that is my first Brandon Sanderson book, and I know he has a lot of books that he's written. And now we're moving on to We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen, which was my first arc of the year, and I give it a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it, but check the content warnings because it does deal with difficult content, I guess, like mental health and suicide and stuff like that. But it was really, really fun and funny at times, but it also had really great messaging. And I did actually go out and buy the book from Indigo on the release day, because I wanted to own a copy and physically annotate it, which I haven't got around to doing yet, but I'm not going to count that as a reread because I'm just going to go through my NetGalley annotations and put them in the actual book. But I printed out some pictures that I felt matched the vibe of the book, and now we're doing a double page spread for the Six of Crows duology, because since I just started making these spreads this year, I've never made a spread for it before. So if I ever reread any books that I really like, I will be making spreads for them. Probably just double page spreads for any series, because obviously I've already read it, so I can be a little bit more concise with my thoughts. But I tried to match each side to one of the books. So the left side is Six of Crows and then the right side is Crooked Kingdom. And I just grabbed a bunch of papers that I thought matched, and obviously I also printed out some pictures. I didn't print out too many aesthetic pictures because I had a giant character art that I wanted to put in, which is just little drawings of all the crows. But I did print out a Kenej fan art because I love Kenej. 10 out of 10. Beautiful, gorgeous ship. And yeah, I'm hoping Lee decides to write Six of Crows 3 because I want the crows back. I mean, I'd recently read King of Scars and Rule of Wolves for the first time, and the crows do appear in Rule of Wolves, but that's not enough. It's not enough for me. I need a full book of them. But I might reread this again this year. Who knows? Because for some reason I didn't reread it last year. So I decided that my first reread of the year was going to be Six Crows and Crooked Kingdom, because in January, I'm sure you heard me talk about this in my February bullet journal setup, but in January I watched Arcane for the first time. And Six of Crows is kind of similar to Arcane, actually. More so Crooked Kingdom. But I wanted to reread the whole duology, and I found out that I did actually really like Crooked Kingdom more than Six of Crows, but they are both 5 stars, obviously. Literally my favorite series. I mean, I guess it's a duology, but that's still a series because there's more than one book, but it is definitely my favorite series, and Crooked Kingdom is my favorite book ever. So if you haven't read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, you should definitely, and if you haven't watched Arcane, you also should definitely watch it. Actually, recently, I tried to do an Arcane makeup look, and honestly, kind of fire. So maybe that's a idea for Halloween this year. But now we're just going to do a flip through of all my January spreads. I'm not going to show you my written reviews, but because I definitely write spoilers in them. But if you really wanted to, you could pause, but honestly, I wouldn't recommend because there are definitely spoilers. But now I'm just rounding out the corners of this final spread. And if you notice the lighting change, I did have to film this on multiple days because I had to wait to print out some of the pictures, because I like to print out just a bunch of stuff at the same time. And obviously, while these book pictures didn't take up a lot of space on a page, I did have some photos from the month that I wanted to print. But I went out with my friend on January 31st, which was very helpful. So the pictures from that day I wanted to print, so I had to wait to print everything until I had those pictures. So yeah, anyway, now we're moving on to my February bullet journal setup, and I'm just making a cover page here. I'm doing a pretty simple vibe because I didn't want these monthly setups to take up too much time. I wanted the main thing to be the reviews and then the book collage spreads, obviously. But I'm just going to make the book collage spreads at the end of the month, and the reviews are as I finish a book. So if when I'm writing in my full review in the book collage spread, I actually remember what I thought about the book. Obviously, if it's the 5 stars, I'm going to remember. But if I want to just make a random spread because I have the perfect stationery for it or something, then I might not remember all my thoughts. Because, obviously the thoughts right after you have a book are more authentic than the ones that you have after you've thought about it for 3 months. Hopefully I get all my stuff done on time, because I am definitely struggling with procrastination this month. Obviously, as I literally had to push back this video, but whatever. We're gonna work through it. And hopefully I'll be better next month. So yeah, now I'm making the TBR for this month, and my TBR for this month is obviously the 3 books that I didn't read of my DBL last month. But the first 3 books are the whole Emily Wilde series, because the 3rd book comes out on February 11th. I already pre-ordered it. It's gonna arrive, and my goal is to be done the first 2 when it arrives so I can start it immediately. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!